Hey yogis, it's Tiffany at Yoga at Tiffany's LLC, coming to you from my backyard, and I am going to be staying low and flow through some stretching, just gentle stretches. You'll need a strap or a blanket or towel or a t-shirt, whatever, just something that you can grip onto to help lasso the foot and hold a stretch or two. So first we'll begin, as we always try to begin, seated in a nice long spine, soft shoulders, head nice and stacked over the neck. So maybe push actively, maybe touch your chin and push your head back just slightly. And then just allow the breath to deepen. A few different options: in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the nose. In through the mouth, out through the mouth if you're experiencing some congestion or deviated septum stuff. But whatever allows you to connect with your life force, your breath. And if you're inside or outside, just take in all of the senses. If you're outside and if it's a breezy day, try to touch base with all parts of your skin that the air is brushing against. Maybe feel the sensation of your hair moving around on your head or brushing against your neck or back. Take notice of the sounds that it makes up against your ears. The rustle of the leaves in the trees. If you're inside, maybe there's a humming of some electrical device. And just find joy in that melody, in that rhythm. And if you'd like to set an intention for our brief time together, go ahead and do that now. Maybe to really root and ground yourself into your mat and into the sensations that you experience on today's practice. And when you're ready, softly open the eyes if they're closed. Reach the fingertips out to the side, and then just gently float them down. Take notice of your shoulder blades and how they feel. Inhale, reach fingertips out to the sides a little bit higher and wider now. Palms facing forward. And exhale, float them down. This time inhale a little deeper and hands go up a little higher. And exhale. Let's incorporate a little cat-cow movement with the spine. So inhale, reach the fingertips out, expand, and arc the back so your belly button is pulling forward and your back shoulder tips and sits bones are pointing back. And on your next exhalation, we'll go ahead and float the arms down nice and gentle. Curve the spine, draw your chin to your chest, and tuck your pelvis. So you're creating a nice C shape with your spine. Really feel the neck stretch. Start to roll the ears side to side. Maybe touch one shoulder at a time. Keeping your cat-like spine. Vajrayasana. Return your chin back to your chest. Lift your gaze. Inhale, reach the fingertips nice and high. Come back into your cow, Malasana. Arcing your spine and squishing your shoulder blades together, pinching the top of your spine. Give yourself a nice little spinal hug. And exhale, float the arms down. Beautiful. Go ahead and pick up your knees. Big toes can touch. And then go ahead and just hug your knees with your left arm and slightly reach the right fingertips back behind you. So you're creating a little bit of a twist. Nothing aggressive, just nice and gentle. A little supine twist with a hug in the mix. Whenever you inhale, think of growing a little bit taller through the spine, longer through the neck, reaching your crown of your head up. And with every exhalation, submit more into the twist. Allow your body to fall into that wringing out sensation. One more round of breath. On your next inhale, go ahead and work your way back to center line and take that right arm, wrap it around the fronts of your shins. Lift your heart, lift your head, inhale, and then as you exhale, reach the left fingertips to the back of your space. Again, repeat with lifting as you inhale and twisting as you exhale. Nothing aggressive, just everything invited. Nice passive twist. But in this twist, it's nice because we're giving a little heat to the shoulders without really making them work too hard. Take notice of the balls of the feet and your heels as they root into the mat. One more round of breath here, yogis. And on your next inhalation, go ahead and wrap that left arm back around, coming back to center line. Give yourself a nice, good squeeze. And then go ahead and release your arms, release your knees, and work your heels out to maybe the top front corners of your long side of your mat. You can scoot your bum back a bit. You never want to force your legs open to the point where your hip flexors are kind of feeling like you're pinched, or your knees and your toes are bowing forward and you've got a lot of pressure on your outer hips. Never put yourself in that type of a compromising position, or uncomfortable rather. So just widen your legs as far as they'll go with your knees and toes pointing upward, and then scooch them forward just a bit so that they settle down nice and chill. So fingertips, TP tent fingertips, TP tent fingers. Plant them on the mat in front of inside of your thighs. Reach nice and tall through the top of your head. And then hinging at the waist. Now when I mean hinge at the waist, I mean bend just at your waist. If you want, you can grab a hold of your hip flexors, shove your insides of your L's on your hands in those hip flexors. Pull your shoulders down, and then hinging at the waist, drawing your heart forward and drawing your navel center forward more than down. You're lifting through the heart as you hinge at the waist and fold forward. So you're getting a nice adductor stretch and activation. Keeping your feet, slightly flexed tends to help keep the kneecaps pointing skyward. And you can always have the TP tent fingers to help you. Lift your elbows if your fingertips are holding you up. You're keeping your spine nice and long, and your lungs are chilling out in the rib cage. No internal organ smushing or massaging at this point. We're just kind of getting that inner groin stretch and awakening. And if you've noticed, I'm kind of pulsing up and down. And when I inhale, sometimes it helps me to get a little bit up and away from my pelvic bowl and my hips. So when I inhale, I try to straighten up a little bit, and then when I exhale, I kind of submit more into the forward fold. On the next inhale, slowly work your way back up. Go ahead and draw that right heel into the inside of the left groin. And then you can use a strap, depending on your flexibility and mobility or mood. You can use a strap to lasso your foot. You can do it like a lasso, literally. Or you can just use the strap like this, grab a hold of it with your hand, and then we're just going to slowly pull, kind of at an angle, so we're keeping our front body facing to the front of our space. And we're just pulling the side body. So I'm just going to hang out my right hand to my right hip. We're just going a nice little forward fold. If you want to use the strap, just begin to pull the left elbow towards the left side of your body, and you're keeping your heart open, stretching the right side of your space. If the strap's not your thing, that's okay. Peace fingers between the big toe and second toe. Push your thumb into your big toenail, and then just draw that left elbow behind the knee And maybe look up to the sky, or the ceiling, or the fan. Recommend against looking into the light, unless it's your time. Sorry. I apologize a lot in these videos, but quirkiness is just a natural forte of mine, so you either like it or don't like it. So keep your neck nice and long. Keep your torso shining to the front. Your heart is shining to the front of your space. And you're just giving breath to that nice stretch in the side body, telescoping the ribs away from each other, creating space. Inhale, slowly come back to rise. Very nice. Now, draw the left heel to meet the right. So you're kind of at this position. Go ahead and teepee tent fingers on the left hand so that your arm is in front of your left knee. And then just reach the right fingertips high. This is kind of a variation of Malasana with a bind. So this kind of gives your hips that sensation without the intensity of the flexion in your ankles. So you're not having to hold yourself up on your feet. You're not having to engage so much core that you don't fall back on your bum. And you're still getting that hip flexor stretch. You're still getting that right side of the body stretch. If you'd like, you can take a bind. So maybe wrap the left arm around the front of the left shin and drop the right arm down. And maybe find the fingertips to fingertips. Again, you can use the strap here. So you can drop it behind your back. Wait, hold on. Yeah, behind your back. And then just slowly work your way fingertips towards fingertips. Okay. And maybe fingertips meet today, maybe next time. Maybe the left hand grabs a hold of the right wrist. And make sure that you're spiraling your heart skyward if you're in a bind. Your gaze can be down to the front, up to the sky, whatever feels good on your neck. If you're in a bind, release the bind, reach the right fingertips nice and high, and then exhale, float the arms down. And we'll do the same thing that we just did on the other side. So extend the left leg, extend the right leg. Now draw the left heel into the right adductor, or the right inner groin. And if you use the strap on the first side, I invite you to use it on the second side. So lasso that right foot. Left hand on left hip if you'd like. Draw that right elbow in towards your right of your space on the outer part of your right knee. And then just begin to side fold. Okay, so keeping your heart shining to the front of your space, reaching the side body stretch going. Enjoying the sunshine creeping through the window shade or maybe the trees outside. Enjoying some natural vitamin D. Keeping your shoulders nice and relaxed away from your earlobes. Keeping your heart spiraling to the front of your space. Oh, that feels so good. Keeping your breath nice and fluid. And if you let go of the lasso or the strap and you big toe, peace finger, big toed it, then maybe return to that. And then feel the pull from the left hip all the way up through the side body. Even feel some activation underneath the left armpit. And then when you're ready, on an inhale, come back up to rise. Seated nice and tall. Go ahead and bend that right foot to meet the left. So it's kind of like heel to heel. You've still got the side of your left foot on the mat, and your right foot is planted. And it doesn't have to be this in. So depending on your range of motion, it could be like this, whatever. But get to some variation of this pose. And now we'll do on the second side what we did on the first. So go ahead and place the right hand in the front of the right shin, or right arm rather, right arm in front of the right shin, teepee tent the right fingers, and then slowly work your way to reach left fingertips skyward. And no two sides are the same. I say this all the time in practice. No two sides are equal, meaning one side may be awesome at balancing, another side might be rocking a split. But remind yourself always that no 2 days are the same. Your body can sometimes be more flexible and limber, and then other days it'll just say, no thanks. I'm not going to hardly walk coordinated today, and that's okay. Just embrace every moment as it comes and every ability as you experience it. Never force your body to take a certain shape. If you did something one way one time, don't force yourself to return back to that same thing. Otherwise, it'd be boring. Perhaps. Just a suggestion, not a demand. If you took a bind on the first side, go ahead and wrap that right arm back and drop the left arm down. And again, you can find the strap behind your back. Grab a hold of it with both hands. Loop the right arm back in front of the right shin and scooch the hands towards one another. Just take it where it wants to go. Maybe fingertips grip. And when I say fingertips grip, I mean just like grab a hold of the fingertips, or maybe the right hand grabs a hold of the left wrist behind your back. And you're creating a nice little bind here, mimicking what we sometimes do in Malasana or Yogi squat, but a lot less core activation required. Keeping connection with the breath. Soften your face. And just breathe. And if you're in a bind, go ahead and release it. Reach the left fingertips back high, right fingertips out to the right of your space. And exhale, float the left fingertips down. Go ahead and I invite you to try this. Maybe take notice of any sensations or any type of range of motion that's changed since we did that little hip flexor stretch. So take your legs back where they were, or maybe you'll notice they can go back a little bit farther. And then TP tent your fingertips or hip flexor push and slowly hinge forward at the waist. And just maybe you might notice a little bit more mobility in the hips. So maybe take it down a little bit more. Don't force it down. If nothing changed, it didn't change today, and that's all good. Nothing has to change. Everything is exactly how it's supposed to be for you today. Keeping the knees and the toes pointing skyward. Keeping your collarbones stretched out, heart opening to the front of your space. And just feel through it. See what feels good to you. And then on the next inhale, go ahead and come all the way up to seated. Bound ankle pose. And push the soles of the feet together and then open the feet up like a book. Okay? Maybe put blocks if you have them, or you can actually bunch up your yoga mat to kind of support your sides of your knees if you'd like. And then just slowly hinging at the waist like we did before. Hinging, bending at the waist, keeping the spine nice and straight, reaching through the crown of your head, lifting to the top seam of maybe the ceiling and the wall in front of you, or towards a beautiful tree in front of you. And just again, breathing through that forward fold. You can grab a hold of the toes if you want. You can push down on the knees. Maybe interlace the fingers. Pull your knuckles back behind you with a micro bend kept in the elbows. And hinge forward. Relax your head. Relax your gaze to look at your piggy toes. Maybe even lift your knuckles skyward. Getting a nice little shoulder awakening. Whether there's dancing leaf blades underneath your nose tickling you, or your fur baby is trying to come and love on you while you're down on the ground and in their love zone, just really try to stay focused with your body experiences and sensations. Be in the right here, right now. Be mindful of moment to moment. Go ahead and lower the arms if they're lifted. Release the interlaced fingers if they're laced. And slowly lift the heart back to center line. Beautiful, yogis. Shoulder rolls. Reverse shoulder rolls. Wonderful. And then maybe, if you'd like, come to Malasana. So plant your feet and lift your bum up. Now you can always bunch your mat up underneath your bum. You can sit down on your bum and just lift your legs like this if this feels better. I'm so graceful today, I apologize. And go ahead and lift your heart. You can use your elbows to push in the tops of your inner knees. Palms are pressed in together firmly. Spread the fingers nice and wide, starfish fingers. And then lift through the crown of your head, soften your shoulders, and breathe. Another option would be also to stick a blanket underneath your heels if your heels don't want to lower down to the ground. So if you find yourself where you've got the lift in the heart and you've got the softness in the shoulders and your legs wide enough but the flexion in your ankles is not allowing you to flatten the feet, again, roll something up underneath your heels like a yoga mat or washcloths or just anything at all that gives that lift so that you can just rest yourself in this pose. We won't be here but for a few more breaths. You can always stop the video and return once you have everything that you need. That's the perk of having the YouTube video. I am at your disposal, and it's always about you. So serve you and your practice here and now. All right, go ahead and release the hands down. Release the bum down. And take the right leg and go ahead and position the right leg so that your shin is facing towards the short top of the mat, short seam. And then go ahead and release that left leg back behind you. So what you'll be doing is you'll be rotating your upper half so that you're creating a nice long line from your face, top of your head face, all through the chest cavity, all the way down into the pelvic bowl through that left leg. So creating a nice long line. Sometimes that left hip wants to pop up and bend that left knee. If it does that, that's okay. But the intention is to spiral your heart to face towards the top narrow part of your mat. Okay, or the right side of your mat since we're working in that positioning. So you can grab a hold of your foot, you can work it out forward. You can take a shoe or ball up your mat and stick it underneath your bum. This is called pigeon pose. Okay, and flex that foot, that right foot. Relax the back left leg and check in with your left foot. Make sure the toes aren't sickled. And then just start to gradually work your way down to your forearms maybe. You can have a block right here. Apologize. Have a block for this stretch and practice. And in pigeon, you can stay anywhere from 10 breaths to 5 minutes to 10 minutes, even if you really want to get a nice hip flexor stretch. But I always recommend if ever you're going to get out of pigeon after a 5 to 10 minute stay, 10 minutes is kind of pushing it. But always come out of the pose twice as slow as you went into it and take your time on getting up and moving around. Because what you're doing is you're elongating the muscle and the tendons and giving a nice good stretch to the fascia, your connective tissue. And you don't want to get up and run to answer the phone or to, somebody knocks at the door and you bolt to try to get the door. Always take your time getting up out of this pose. 2 more rounds of breath. And on your next inhalation, wherever you are, go ahead and push yourself back up to center line. If you want to try to lift that back left leg, you can do that. Sometimes it helps to draw that right heel in towards your pelvis, and then maybe flex that left foot and start to lift it back. Maybe take a hold of it with the hand or a strap. Try not to sit on your strap. But go ahead and lasso that foot. Grab a hold of the strap. Keep your heart facing forward. And then just start to gently pull that left foot towards you. When I started learning this, it was easy for me to line up body parts with body parts to keep in the right alignment. So maybe work towards that left heel towards your left elbow. And then if your left elbow is touching, maybe try to hold the tether with your right hand and hook the left arm around the front of the left foot. And if you've got that, by George, rock on. And if not today, maybe next time. Every body is different. Every range of motion is different. So feel it out. If this feels good to you, stay here. If you want to take it a little bit further and you want to come into mermaid pose, you can reach the right fingertips up high and then drop the right fingertips back behind you. And then maybe reach fingertips to fingertips. Now, make sure you're not pushing a lot from your head into your right arm. Make sure that you're pulling your right arm so that your head's really not messing with your right arm too much, because that might cause some discomfort in your neck. And when you've had enough mermaid for the day, slowly release the right hand back down. Slowly let that left leg glide down into the palm and glide back down to the mat. And slowly rotate back onto your bum. And now what we'll do is we will unlasso our leg if it's lassoed. Keep the tether close. And we're going to do pigeon on the second side. So the left shin is parallel with the left side, narrow side of your mat. The right leg goes ahead and extends back to the back. And then you're going to rotate your hips so that your heart and your hips are facing the front narrow side of the mat. Oh, that sunshine feels nice. And keep that left foot flexed. Keep the right toes unsickled. Go ahead and relax your shoulders down and slowly work your way to a forward fold over that front leg coming into pigeon. Breathe. Kapotanasana. With every breath, you're getting a little longer through the spine, all 24 vertebrae. You're lengthening through the neck. Your gaze can be soft and above the top of your mat. And maybe take an opportunity in this pose of stillness and stretch. Follow your breath in your nose, spiraling up through your nasal passage, down into the lungs, expanding and broadening the heart space, creating depth and width and length. And then on your next exhalation, follow that breath back up and out and away. And a shout out to Annette, one of my teachers. She said something that will forever stay in my heart. She said, or pointed out rather, and I'll never say it as eloquently as she did, but she said that take the opportunity to sit back and really think about the breath, our life force. And at what point does our breath that we inhale and exhale stop being ours and starts being the person next to us, and vice versa? When does that person's breath that gives them life and existence stop being their breath and start being ours? I was like, wow. we all breathe the same air. We are all beautiful beings of light and life force. And I thought that was special, so hopefully one of you will find that special and carry that message on. Go ahead and push up now and draw that left heel into your groin area, or pelvis, near your pelvis. And then start to flex that right foot and draw the heel towards your back. And then maybe reach the right arm back to grab a hold of the ankle. Or, if that's not happening today, figure out a way to lasso that foot, okay? And then when you've got it lassoed, go ahead and pull towards you. Draw the elbow towards the heel, keeping your heart shining to the front, gazing into the sunbeams. But reaching the elbow towards the heel. Pay attention to your wrist, whatever feels good to your wrist. Don't hurt anything to accomplish a certain positioning of a certain body part. Just make it organic, make it suit and serve you. And if your elbow and your heel are touching, maybe grab a hold of the tether with the left hand. Hook the inside of the right arm to the foot, maybe untether, and stretch. Feeling that nice little back bend that you're giving yourself, opening your heart to the front of your space. Breathing in air into all parts of your body. And then if you're there, maybe reach the left fingertips high. And exhale, reach the left fingertips first to the top of your left shoulder blade. And if you're there easy, then maybe reach left fingertips to right fingertips. Keep the left forearm not pressing firmly in the back of your head. So your head should not be having to push that arm back. Perhaps maybe do some shoulder openings before you do this pose next time. But wherever you are and wherever you get, and also the tether can be helpful in this pose. So just lasso it around, grab a hold of it with the right hand, and then slowly start to work hands towards one another. And now we're in Mermaid on the left. And the beautiful thing about going this nice and slow and steady is you really have an opportunity to touch base with all parts of you. You can feel the sensations in your ankles, in your knees, your hip flexors, the spine, when you're given a nice little stretch this way, opening the heart and the chest cavity, widening and broadening the collarbones, lifting the neck nice and regal. Maybe chin even lifts up and gaze can be up to the heavens. And when you're ready, release the interlaced fingers, reach left fingertips up, around, and down. And then slowly let that right foot glide down and out of the right hand. Release it back. And slowly drop your right bum, side of your right bum, back down. Beautiful. Now, again, always slow and steady coming out of that pose. Go ahead and do bound angle pose again, where your feet are pressed into one another. And if you can, open the feet up like a book. And this time we'll fold forward again, but take notice of any changes or sensations that are a little bit different. So as you inhale, reach through the top of your head, soften your shoulders. And exhale, hinging at the waist, drawing your heart towards the earth beneath you, from which we came and will return soon. But be sure to make every single second of this precious existence count. Three more rounds of breath here, yogis. Maybe take the opportunity to revisit the intention you may have set at the beginning of this brief but beautiful practice together. And pocket that intention in your heart and carry it with you the rest of the day. Inhale, reach reach through the crown of your head all the way up to the tippy top of your space. Exhale, soften everything. Come to a neutral spine. Maybe lift the knees, or maybe stretch the legs out. Come up to a nice tall spine one last time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, let it all go. Draw hands to heart center, fingertips to your forehead. May your thoughts be pure and positive today. Fingertips to lips. May you speak kindness to yourself and others always. And thumbs to your heart. Love yourself, because you teach others how to love you the way that you love yourself.